So I've already introduced myself, but I'm Amelia, Board Director of Sibling Architecture. This is a new learning building for the Wangaratta District Specialist School, a project which merges our practice's interest in education with designing spaces for people with varied abilities. I'd also just like to acknowledge Lauren Crockett, the project architect, who had a big influence on the project as well. The school is a public specialist school, so it caters for students with mild to severe intellectual and physical disabilities from 5 to 18 years of age. It's located here in Wangaratta, so not far from the New South Wales border on Yorta Yorta country. So yeah, I guess looking at this project through a regional lens, what we found quite remarkable at the beginning of the project was the catchment zone that the school services. So as you can see here, the school services quite an extensive zone. The catchment extends from the New South Wales border past Mansfield down to Mount Buller and over the Great Dividing Range. So just as an example, the bus trip from Mount Buller through to the school is almost 2 hours, which is quite, remarkable. And again, when you see that overlaid onto the state, it's almost unbelievable. So yeah, I guess whilst this project is just a single new building in a school, in a public school, we felt the weight of the importance of the project in terms of the opportunity to provide good facilities for students with disability over such a large portion of the state. So this is the site, and it's in quite a residential area. The existing school site is highlighted in red, and it neighbours another school to the north. The specialist school enrolment numbers have been steadily increasing, so it meant as part of the project, the borders were realigned between the two schools, so our site grew to something like this. This is an existing campus site plan. It was definitely in need of some love. So as you can see here, the large majority of existing learning buildings highlighted are relocatable or portable buildings. And yeah, this is the existing entrance to the school. So as you can see, definitely in need of some love. And I guess given this context, the school had very little idea of what kind of facility would even meet their needs because they just had never had the chance to sort of imagine it, I guess. So we inherited a master plan that was completed by another architect before us. And as you can see, both campuses are basically being rebuilt in entirety in the master plan, and this project is the first of the new learning buildings to be completed. So yeah, I guess given the fact that they had very little idea of what the school could be, we set up this extensive consultation process with school leadership, teachers, allied health professionals, and as part of this process, we did a lot of site visits and ran numerous workshops. And yeah, from that we came to understand that the school really needed 4 types of spaces in this setting. So focused and calm spaces, so to help with attention span and maintain focus. Social spaces, so most of the students who attend the school will not go on to any further type of study. So a big part of their focus is teaching students independent life skills, living skills and social skills. Support spaces, so changing rooms, amenities, resources. And then finally, the sensory spaces. So in learning about the special needs of the students, we came to understand the range of sensory processing issues that students can have. Overly sensitive students respond very easily to overstimulation and can find it quite overwhelming, but underly sensitive students really want to seek out more sensory stimulation. So this is the floor plan. It's based around a 3-classroom module that has shared amenities between the classrooms. And then this module is repeated and mirrored. There's a social active spine through the centre of the building, calm and focused classrooms and breakout spaces, support spaces, and then a variety of sensory spaces, some active and some more self-directed. So engaging with the diverse needs of the students became a key conceptual driver for the building, the sensory needs. So we began to map out the different ways that we could engage with each of the senses across the building. And this was quite a feat given the very tight budgets of the VSBA, so we had to get quite creative. So yeah, it's visuals. So there are a series of spaces which provide visual stimulation, a dedicated sensory room with custom tubular light ceilings that displays different patterns and has the capacity to project. So this is made from everyday PVC pipes. There are these visual sensory nooks that come off the main corridor that have lined with soft carpet, acoustic material, and have custom light ceiling installations with the ability to play sound. We've used a wide variety of weird and wonderful tactile materials, so different kinds of rubbers, timbers and muddings, and there are dedicated tactile walls throughout. This was an idea that we continue to the exterior of the building, where there's bands of tactile brickwork throughout. The vestibular system relates to our sense of balance or spatial awareness, and so there are large rubber mounds that challenge students to balance on uneven ground. And then these two other large nooks within the corridor that also engage with bodily spatial awareness. Some students are non-verbal, so engaging with sound is a form of therapy. Within the sensory rooms, there's the ability to engage with voice playback and other instruments and play sounds in the breakout spaces. With smell, the school already had lots of oils, but we also thought about smell in the planting selection, particularly in the sensory garden. And then with taste, so there's a communal kitchen in the centre of the plan and the inclusion of a vegetable patch adjacent to the kitchen. And then we continue this approach through the sensory garden where there's a range of plants chosen to engage with the senses as well. So just moving out of the plan, I'll talk you through the form. So we started with these two mirrored modules. The roof is then split to allow for high-level southern light deep into the floor plate. Then there's a series of large pop-ups with north-facing windows to allow for light into the special areas within the building and act as thermal chimneys to purge hot air. And then the external form is broken down to allow for the building to read almost like a collection of buildings to assist with legibility. Around the fence, and the fences around the breakout spaces read as a playful, continuous second skin around the perimeter. So much of the existing campus had a strong language of fences and enclosure, and we wanted this element to read as a playful extension of the building rather than a language of security. Materially, we have used a patchwork of bricks and textures to bring the idea of tactility onto the skin of the building. This view shows the scale of the pop-ups and the playful language of the fences. The external breakout spaces. The focused life skill spaces, so the communal kitchen. And the focused nature of the classroom, so these sort of really controlled apertures into the classrooms that can be controlled by the teachers. Learning spaces. The building is 100% electric, has an array of PV cells on the roof and adapts thermal design principles and harvest rainwater. Okay, I'll just wrap up. Yeah, so the project looks to push the aesthetics of accessibility by providing warm, engaging and playful spaces that embrace difference whilst challenging the cold and clinical aesthetics often associated with spaces that provide care. And through the project, we wish to push the conversation around accessible design and advocate for a design that is responsive to users with sensorial sensitivities to make it more fitting and more delightful.
Thank you very much.